Nearly stolen away from Kastner, but she's going to hit it out of bounds. It will remain. Peyton Brookover, the sophomore forward from Fort Mill, South Carolina, checking it in to Carnasia Wells. The handoff to Jackson. The pass to Brookover. Now to Callie Hermanson. Wells, the three ball from the same spot. She drills it this time. Cuts the lead to 8.
You know, we talked about her. She's obviously going to get her buckets, but they are going to need somebody else to step up if they're going to have a shot in this game.
Absolutely. Hennessy, the three ball. She drills it this time as well. 17-6, 3 minutes left in the first period. If you're just now getting with us here, we've had some technical difficulties coming into this ball game. But we appreciate you tuning in wherever you are. Grayson Whaley, Drew Rogers bringing you the broadcast here tonight. It's a matchup between your Bryan College Lady Lions and the Columbia College Koalas. Long shot there from Fan, no good. Rebound Koalas. Now Wells up the court. Great pass there, just can't finish at the bucket. Kastner with it, moving with the left hand. Now to Hennessy. Hennessy, the long three ball, no good. Pass up the floor, now to Jackson. Jackson with the right hand, the spin move, the finish with the left. What a move.
That was a beautiful left hand. The Koalas have looked to push the ball early in this game.
I think that must be one of their key points offensively, is to kind of push the ball, work with some tempo, Drew, to try to get these Lady Lions stumbling a little bit on defense.
Yeah, I don't know if the Koalas have a shot against the Lady Lions in the half court, so maybe the coaching staff is thinking let's switch it up a little bit.
Absolutely. Molaski drills a three for the Lady Lions. Lady Lions starting this one hot. Take the lead 20-8, just under 2 minutes left in the first period. Molaski tips it away out of bounds. Well, it appears to be off the hands of Brookover. Sorry about that. Nearly a full team substitution for both teams. And for the Lady Lions is Nevaeh Majors, Tori Brooks, and Katie Farrell. Again, thank you for tuning in to this presentation of Bryan College basketball. Grayson Whaley, Drew Rogers in the booth with you tonight. 20-8 basketball game. Your Lady Lions leading. A foul on the shot there. Molaski will receive 2 free throws. As mentioned before, we've had some technical difficulties coming into this game, so you probably missed the onset, the early presentations, but we're ready. We're going now. Bringing you Bryan College basketball here in Summers Gymnasium. Molaski goes 1 for 2 at the line, but Farrell gets the rebound, gets it out to Majors. Majors moving with the right hand, fast, throws it away into Koala traffic, stolen away from Abria Kiet. Jackson dribbling, gets it over now to Hermanson. Hermanson trying to get it down low to Kiet, but tipped out of bounds from Nevaeh Majors. It's senior night here in Dayton, Tennessee. We're recognizing seniors from both basketball teams. Tonight we're recognizing Marley Montgomery, Destiny Kastner, Kristen Fan, Faith Simmons, Caitlin Hennessy, and manager Alice Shaver. So stay tuned for that presentation. It'll be in between the men's and women's game here tonight. Recognizing some important people on campus and for these programs, Drew.
Yeah, we are. And our women's seniors that don't start normally have had a great showing. Faith Simmons knocking down a 3, Kristen Fenn as well, and Marlon Montgomery with a pair of assists.
Yeah, absolutely. Long 3 ball there from Russell, and you best believe she's going to drill it. Good.
That was a great shot, and coming off the bench a little, but that doesn't look to have affected her at all.
Major sticking with Wells. As we mentioned, of course, you probably didn't hear it with the technical difficulties. Wells is one of our key players tonight for Columbia College, averaging 14.3 points a game, 5 rebounds, along with 4.3 assists per game. Good bucket there for the Koalas from Jackson. And, of course, Drew, it's hard to mention the Lady Lions without mentioning Coach Gabe Johnson. He stepped in this year, done a really good job for the Lady Lions, and he's got them to another regular season championship.
I'm in complete agreement with you, man. I think stepping in was going to be hard regardless, and I think he's done a great job with the pieces that he was allotted.
Absolutely, he has, and he's led them to another AAC regular season title. As we mentioned, it's become an expectation here in Dayton, Tennessee for this Bryan College basketball program. This team that's now receiving votes in the NAIA, looking to try to get ranked here in the final couple games of the season.
For sure. I think the regular season's an expectation. I think looking forward, you got to be, if you're the Lady Lions, you're looking forward to winning the conference tournament.
Absolutely. They fell short with that last year. Of course, they still opened the NAIA opening round, or still hosted the NAIA opening rounds here at Summers Gymnasium, won those, and traveled to Sioux City, Iowa for the Sweet 16, and unfortunately got put out in the first round. So they're going to see if maybe this year they can improve upon that as Russell finishes the first period with a layup to finish the first. After that, 26-11 after one. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. We're back from break here. Drew Rogers, Grayson Whaley bringing you tonight's broadcast of Bryan College basketball. We're finally settled in, Drew. It was a wild start with some technical difficulties trying to get this thing off the ground. But it's off the ground, and the Lady Lions are soaring to a 26-11 start.
Yeah, they've done really well in the first quarter. I know most people probably didn't hear our keys to the game, but they've definitely done what we said in the beginning.
Blocked away there from, let's see who that is. That's Kateria Brabham, the center from Bamberg, South Carolina. Yeah, of course, we can go ahead and get into that since this will be our third time repeating what we've already said, but for the listeners at home, you probably didn't hear it with the technical difficulties. So we've talked, of course, about our key players, Kastner, Hennessy, and Russell already early on in this game, but what's it going to take, as we've already seen early on, for them to not only hold this lead but to finish this game victorious?
Yeah, man, I think you look out on the court, you see there's not a lot that Columbia offers as a challenge. I mean, they're not gonna outlink us. They're not gonna outshoot us. I mean, really, all the Lady Lions have to do what they've already been doing, and that's controlling the glass and knocking down open shots.
Absolutely. Now, Drew, for the Koalas, of course, we made mention of Carnasia Wells. She's the leading scorer on this team. She just scored another bucket there. We've said they're going to need someone besides her leading the way. What's it going to take for them to somehow get back into this game and keep the Lady Lions at arm's length to try to stay in this one throughout the game?
You know, it's going to take multiple people that don't normally step up for the Koalas to step up tonight. I mean, I don't want to say they need a miracle, but they do need substantial amounts to come back today.
Yeah, for sure. It's already a 30-13 lead for the Lady Lions here in Summers Gymnasium. Stolen away from Russell. Russell going the other way. She stops. She finishes at the bucket. Extends the lead to 19. Wells up the court now for Columbia. Of course, Columbia is an all-girls institution lying in Columbia, South Carolina. Wells from the corner, no good. It's a United Methodist. It's of the United Methodist denomination. Of course, all these colleges in the AAC have some sort of Christian foundation, and Kastner with another three ball. Timeout, Koalas, and man, oh man, the Lady Lions are on fire tonight. 35-13 lead early on. It's a full timeout, and with that, we'll take a 60-second break as well. Stay tuned. We're back. Drew Rogers, Grayson Whaley with you tonight in Summers Gymnasium. 35-13 lead for your Lady Lions early on. The 2022-2023 regular season champs led by Gabe Johnson. And, of course, these ladies on the floor, they've had an impressive season, but they're not done yet, Drew. There's still a lot of basketball left in this campaign.
Yeah, of course, man. And I think they're doing a really good job of, you mentioned earlier they're receiving votes in a state. You want to beat the bad teams by as much as you can, and that's only going to help their cause.
Absolutely. Trying to get it to Brookover, trapped near the equator, and Russell's going to steal it away. The 3-on-1 fast break. She stops from 10 feet, tries to get it off the backboard, no good. Good rebound there from Bria Kia. She tries to save it, but is pushed out of bounds. Foul for the Lady Lions, their team first early on into this second period of basketball. 7:38 remain in the first half here in Summers Gymnasium. The typical starting five now on the floor as we have celebrated senior night here in Dayton, Tennessee. Of course, Gabe Johnson wanted to commemorate those senior ladies by starting them tonight. But now the original starting five is out on the floor. Kastner, the long three ball, back rim no good. Molaski gets the rebound though. Great offensive board from her.
And I think if you're the seniors, you got to be thinking if the result holds like it is now, then maybe they get some more minutes towards the end of the game.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see that from up here at least. Great backdoor cut, but a great hand there from Abria Kia. Steals it away for the Koalas. Up the floor to Jackson. Jackson misses the three ball, and it's going to be out of bounds down low on the Koalas. Going back the other way for the Lady Lions. Tori Brooks checked into the game, but just after that, Coach Gabe Johnson going to call a 30-second timeout. With that, we'll just stay here. 6:51 left in the first half. Drew, we've tried to get through our keys for victory like 14 times, it seems like, tonight. We finally got through them. What are you seeing so far in tonight's game for both of these teams?
I think it's holding that Carnasia Wells, she leads them in scoring. She's already put up a few buckets, and I think, again, the Lady Lions have knocked down their open shots and maybe gotten some shots that they don't normally get from our seniors, and I think that's all the greatest. So, and as well, the Lady Lions have done a good job controlling the glass.
Now, you've been around here for a few years now, and what do you think that you're seeing differently from this Lady Lions team? Because I know what Coach Gabe Johnson would say, but I want to hear from just the common spectator what you've seen here from the Lady Lions this year that may be different from what you've seen in years past.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the offensive firepower is still there, right? But for me, what it looks to be is that it's on the defensive end. I mean, last year, they had a lot of games where they probably gave up 70 to 80 points, and they still won comfortably. But this year, you're not seeing that high a number from the other team, and as we're seeing here, 13 points in 1.5 quarters is very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. That is something, as you mentioned, that they weren't doing at least at a high of a rate, stopping teams on the defensive side. And honestly, I think that probably hurt them last year in Sioux City, Iowa, because when you hear the term defense travels, and that seems to truly be the case across all levels of collegiate sports, and especially basketball, as defense truly does travel.
I think you're absolutely right. It not only hurt them in Sioux City, but it definitely hurt them at the conference tournament. And I think defense is one of those things that you got to decide to do early. If you decide to do it at the beginning of the year, you're going to do it at the end of the year.
Absolutely, and of course that's something that is, being a member of the men's team, y'all care deeply about as both teams trade off a pair of threes, is playing that championship style of defense that Coach Don Murkowski talks about so much. And it really is important. And you have those coaches who are more offensively minded or more defensively minded. But, man, there's just something about keeping a team at bay when they just cannot get to the bucket. Yeah. And it seems like we're up here and it's like, man, this looks like the lid's on the bucket for this team.
For sure.
But a lot of the times it's really credit to how well the other team is playing defensively. And that's something that, as you mentioned, has not been usual for the Lady Lions in recent, but it's definitely been the narrative this year.
Yeah, I think it's just one more tool in their toolbox. Like they've always had the offense. You add the defense. Who knows how far this team can go? Absolutely.
Hennessy down there near the free throw line. Molaski going to take the long three just short. Rebound Jackson. Jackson up the court for Columbia College is going to stop near the Christ Above All logo, gets it to Wells. Wells gets it down low now to Kiet. Kiet on the left side with the right hand, no good.
That's a good look, and they need her to score. We mentioned Carnasia Wells, but Abria Kiet, she has been their second leading scorer at almost averaging a double-double a game.
Yeah, she is, and we've seen her grit down low with chasing down a few rebounds, but you're right. It's kind of getting ugly here quickly. It's a 24-point basketball game. Columbia's going to have to start scoring, and there she is. Scores the 2-point bucket.
And they're going to need a lot more of that, and they're probably going to need some looks from the outside because a 22-point deficit is not easily overcome.
Absolutely not. They're going to have to go on a run here with 4 minutes left in the first half. They get a steal there. Maybe that's step one, but traveling violation near the halfway point is going to put it back into the hands of Bryan College.
And you attribute that to the great transition defense by Bryan. She thought she had somebody open at half court, and she took 2 steps, and she didn't have that person open anymore.
I've been stuck in that position at intramural basketball, and you can't stay on that second foot long enough. It just feels like an eternity before you fall to that third one, and or that third step rather.
Yeah.
It's a miserable feeling out there doing something like that. Because you're right, it looks so open until it's not.
Yeah, and then that's when your brain takes over and tells you not to make that pass.
Nevaeh Majors for 3. We don't see that much from her. She falls short just as Wells gets the rebound. Pass over near the near wing. The 3-ball there
that's
from
the
Asia Feaster.
Yeah, if she's going to continue to do that, maybe Columbia will have a shot.
It's a 19-point game on a bit of a run here. Late into the second period. Molaski gets it down low to Farrell. Ball movement. Hennessy looking for something. Going to set things back up with 12 on the shot clock.
And Columbia seems to have accepted that they probably are not able to guard the Lady Lions in a man, and they've gone to a zone pretty early here in the game.
15-foot jumper there from Farrell and nearly tipped in from Majors, and Farrell's going to foul her trying to get the offensive board. That'll be the second team foul for the Lady Lions in the second period. Brookover inbounding the basketball as Wells is going to take it up the court. 19-point game, just under 3 minutes left in the first half. Jackson with it far side, now to Brookover. Back over to Feaster. Feaster for 3, just off with the 3-ball. Molaski in the corner. Steps in.
Great
gets
pass.
The ball to Brooks.
Great
Brooks
pass.
with the finish and the foul.
Man, that was a great pass. She used her body to kind of create some space between her and the defender, forced another one to come help on her, and she kicked it straight to the cutter.
Kristen Fan going to be checked in for Alyssa Molaski, one of the seniors that will be recognized later tonight. Stay tuned for that. And finishes the 3-point play. Tori Brooks puts her name in the stat sheet here tonight. 43-21, another 22-point lead for the Lady Lions. Majors playing tough defense. Feaster, Fan on Feaster. Majors steals it away. The mano-a-mano fast break goes up with the left hand and finishes.
That was a great left hand. Way to keep it away from the defender.
Jackson far side. Over to Brookover. Back to Feaster near the NAI logo. Now to Brabham. Stepping in, the 15-foot floater. No good. Rebound Majors. Majors quickly taking it up to 4. Pumping up the tempo. Finds the trailer. The extra pass to Brooks. Brooks drives. Now back out to Hennessy. Hennessy for 3. Bang! The 3-ball from Caitlin Hennessy puts them near the half-century mark. 48-21. A minute and a half left in the first half.
You know, that's maybe not something that Hennessy looked to do a lot of last year, but she has certainly added the 3-ball to her game.
Blocked from Hennessy. Fan gets it. Back to Hennessy. Hennessy finishes. 29-point lead. Still over a minute left in the first half. Jackson slowing things down here for Columbia. Brooks kind of playing a parallel defense, making her use the left hand. Brabham hands it off to Hermanson. Hermanson gets it to Feaster. Feaster back to Hermanson in the corner. 5 on the shot clock. Stolen away once again. Tori Brooks this time up the court. The 3-on-2 fast break. Brooks stops. She pops the three-pointer. Good!
That might have been the most space that she's had all year. You cannot leave her open like
no,
that.
No, you cannot. 32-point game, Drew. Just a 3-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Feaster throws up a three ball for herself. No good. Continuing to press the tempo is Hennessy. Up the court. Brooks, the extra pass to Fan. Fan driving in. The 14-footer good.
And she is off to a rocket start at senior night here tonight. Already buried a couple of J's.
Absolutely, and this will be the last possession for Columbia. 3 seconds on the clock in the first half. Driving is Jackson, and catching the foul is Jackson. She'll have 2 at the free throw line. At that point, Drew, you kind of hate to see a foul to end the first half. I almost just want to let her go, let her take her shot.
Yeah, you know, it's that's definitely a hard call for even the official to make. I mean, if the contact's that obvious, you probably have to blow the whistle there.
Absolutely. Jackson sinks the first of 2. The junior guard from Sumter, South Carolina, reigning from Crestwood High School, goes 2 for 2 at the line. And they'll just throw it in and end the first half. After 1 half of action here in Summers Gymnasium, the score, your Lady Lions up 55-23. Stay tuned for the halftime show and stats. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. Grayson Whaley, Drew Rogers bringing you tonight's Bryan College Lady Lions presentation. This one between Columbia College and, of course, Bryan College. Bryan College leading 55-23 after the first half. What's made the difference, Drew?
I mean, I look on the stat sheet. You see these shooting numbers for Bryan are off the charts. Seems like everybody's hitting shots. I mean, Tori Brooks 3 for 3, 2 for 2 from three-point land. And then on the flip side, I mean, we talked about it. Wells and Kiet, I mean, they're held to 5 and 2 on really bad efficiency. So
yeah, absolutely, and those are the two girls that we expected to really make a difference here tonight. Of course, Columbia is only shooting 27.6% from the field, and kind of inverse number there, 26.7% from three-point land. Those numbers are going to have to bump up if they want any shot at coming back here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about girls stepping up, and their role players have stepped up. So maybe it's the opposite for them. Their stars have to step up a little bit, but I mean, if Bryan continues at this shooting clip, there's almost no chance.
Well, Drew, one thing I noticed is that Columbia just seems a little short-handed. They only have two players really coming off the bench making any impact, and of course, that's something that's hurt us a bit as well this year, is just our lack of depth coming off the bench. That's something that we had last year that we haven't as much this year. But of course, the seniors that played that usually don't play much, they came in and scored. Faith Simmons went 1 for 1 from three-point land. Kristen Fan has played 11 minutes in this game, has 5 points on 3 shots, and Marley Montgomery, as you mentioned earlier, 2 rebounds and an assist. So they've done well as everyone else that usually plays. Samantha Russell with 9, Tori Brooks with 9, Kastner with 13, and Hennessy with 10. And you compare that to what Columbia's doing, and it's 5-2, 6-6, 3. I mean, there's just nobody that's really stepping up. And one it's credit to Bryan's defense, but of course I think it's also just a lack of depth and ability for Columbia as well. And it's difficult to come on the road traveling from Columbia, South Carolina to Dayton, Tennessee, and not only that, you're playing the number 1 ranked AAC team. So it's been a tough one so far for Columbia. Of course, they're trailing by 32 points going into the second half, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see if they can kind of make a run at it.
You know, anything can happen, and like we said, they probably did need a miracle here tonight. Summers is a tough place to play if it gets rocking, and they certainly have not done themselves any favor by letting the lead get up this high this soon. But again, we'll see.
Well, one of the things that we mentioned is in our keys for victory. Of course, you might not have heard this with our rough start there with technical difficulties, but we put on there if somehow Columbia could just keep this thing within striking distance by the 4th period, they would be in a good spot. Of course, it doesn't at this point seem like that's going to be the case. It looks like Bryan's going to run away with this thing, just continuing to pad the scoreboard. But yeah, it's one of those things for Columbia. It's we'll see what Columbia College is made of, and it's tough as a team coming into the second half, losing by 30+ points, and still putting in the effort out there to try to win a basketball game. But we have about 2.5 minutes before we get things going here in the second half of action. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back and kind of open things up for the second half. So stay tuned. All right, we're back here for the second half of action. Of course, we kind of laid out what we've seen so far. It's a 55 to 23 point game, or a 55 to 23 game, a 32-point lead for your Lady Lions. It's been ugly so far, but we're going to see, as we mentioned, what Columbia's made of here in the second half.
We certainly will, and now maybe you find you're Columbia. Maybe you don't look to win the game. You always look to win, but maybe you look for good individual performances you can build on going into the conference tournament.
Absolutely. Wells fighting for the basketball down there. It's going to be a jump ball going Bryan's way. So it looks like we're going to see some of those seniors back into the game. Faith Simmons, Kristen Fan, and Marley Montgomery. They started the game, and they're going to start the second half. It might as well have a 32-point cushion. Hennessy driving.
Good.
Gets it to Kastner. Kastner with the finish.
Columbia College just seems to be pretty disoriented. I don't know if it's the big lead or if that's just kind of how they are, but they seem to be out of it. They need to get back in it.
One thing I've seen from Columbia, Drew, is they've really had some decent looks offensively, but they just had no answer defensively for the Lady Lions.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like everything that the Lady Lions put up is going in, and that's great for us, but you definitely, if you're the opposing team, that's not something you want to see.
Well, they're closing in on shooting 60% from the floor. As another make there from Caitlin Hennessy brings us to a 59 to 23 game. Just over 8.5 left in the third period. Wells deep pass to Jackson. The three ball too long there. Rebound Wells. Wells still playing hard down there. Finishes down low.
Yeah, you got to give her credit. She's still. Everybody on the Columbia side is still trying, but it's going to be a tough uphill climb for them.
Fan the three ball. She sinks it.
That's going to be 3 for 4 for her. She's certainly stepped up to the occasion.
Absolutely. Brooke over with the basketball. Gets it to Wells. Wells setting things up here offensively for Columbia. Large lead for Bryan College. It's a 62 to 25 point game.
Great shot.
A three ball hit there from Wells. She's done her part in trying to lead Columbia here offensively tonight. Hennessy with the basketball, the crossover. She's driving down low. Up with the right hand from the left side, no good. But a foul is going to put her to the line. She'll have 2 shots at the charity stripe.
That's one that Columbia seems to have no answer for, is Caitlin Hennessy, and a lot of teams don't. A taller girl who can really put the ball on the floor and get to the hole.
Yeah, she's not only averaging over 12 points a game and nearly 6 rebounds a game, but she also is averaging just over 4 assists per game. For her stature and size, Drew, for her to be manning the offense is really impressive.
Yeah, what do you do? If she gets past the defender and the person in the paint steps over, it's an automatic dump off. She's got really great instincts with that.
Absolutely. She goes 2 for 2 at the line. That extends the lead now. 64 to 28. Wells over top of the key. Key it back to Wells. Wells for 3. Wells sinks it.
She's come out hot here. Maybe if the rest of the team catches what she's got, they can start mounting some sort of a comeback.
Faith Simmons, the crossover, goes up with the left hand and is fouled on the way up. So she'll have 2 free throws. Faith Simmons came to play here tonight as well.
She did. Knocked down a 3 in the first half, and now she's getting to the line.
The first one is good from Simmons. The second one is good. She goes 2 for 2 at the line. 4th and 5th point of the game.
It's great to see a program player like her getting her moment in the sun for sure.
Absolutely. Crossing over, working on Montgomery. Setting things back up near the top. Now back to Feaster. Feaster to Keyett. Keyett working on Hennessy. Passes it over to Jackson. Sets the screen for Jackson. Works over the double team. Going to have to pop it out. The 3 ball at the buzzer, no good. Rebound Hennessy. Up the court is Hennessy. Driving with the left. She dumps it off. High shot off the backboard. Good. My goodness, I thought that thing went off the shot clock.
Yeah,
Drew.
that looked a little suspect, but the ref said it. The ref said it's good. See, that's what you got to go with.
Oh my goodness! So high off the glass, it doesn't even hit the glass, huh?
Yeah, I guess not. Guess that's not required anymore these days.
68-31 with a chance for the three-point play. Kastner up, no good. Rebound Montgomery. They're fighting for it, out of bounds, and a foul. No, they're just going to call it out of bounds there on Feaster. What a fight there from Marley Montgomery.
Yeah. And I don't know where if we were having technical difficulties then, but I did mention earlier that that is a 7-year classmate of mine, 4 years in high school and 3 years now at Bryan College.
That's awesome. Out of bounds off the hands of Wells, remains Bryan basketball. Simmons is going to have to move over a little bit as they inbound it here. Gets it into Fan. Fan working on Jackson. The spin move now to Montgomery. Montgomery driving. She dishes out. The 15-foot shot, no good. Fighting for it at the baseline, and a foul is going to be called on Faith Simmons. No, on Kristen Fan, rather.
Got to give it to Columbia here. They're down a lot, but there's no quit in them.
No, there
not
really
this
isn't.
Point.
68-31. It'd be really easy to give up if you're Columbia, but as you mentioned, they're a gritty bunch fighting through this game. The backdoor cut, but it's tipped away from Fan. Fan tries to save it. Goes out of bounds. Will be Columbia basketball.
We were talking a little bit earlier about how the Lions have improved on defense this year, and that's top to bottom. That's 1 through 10 in the rotation that are just so much more improved.
Looks like Kia's going to finish the bucket and gets the foul as well. So she'll have a shot at the three-point play now. Russell going to check into the game for Faith Simmons. .55 left in the third period. Kia finishes the three-point play, and a little bit of life here for Columbia. 68-34. Majors manning the offense. Montgomery driving left, kicks out to Majors. Majors now driving middle. She stops, she pops a jump shot, no good. The foul is going to be called on Majors trying to get to the rebound.
That's probably not one that the coach minds, a hustle play foul.
No, probably not. 5:40 left in the third period, 68-34. Grayson Whaley alongside Drew Rogers bringing you Bryan College basketball here tonight. If you're a fan of Bryan College, visit BryanLions.com and find all things Bryan College athletics. Go to the Bryan Lions website today to see schedules, rosters, stats, anything you'd like regarding Bryan College athletics.
It's newly revamped. I was on it the other day using it. It's pretty helpful. It's got everything all in one spot.
It does, and I was a big proponent of the BC Lions app, and I used to promote that on here all the time. And of course, I was a little sad to see it go. And man, I'm still a little bit sad that it's gone. But
yeah, it was definitely downloaded on my phone, but I will say the website has everything that it does, and maybe a little more.
Yeah. So. Definitely revamped. Montgomery with the rebound, tries to finish, she can't, but Farrell gets the put back. Montgomery's out there to play, Drew.
Yeah, she is. That's now 3 offensive rebounds for her. If they gave her the one early in the second half, she's definitely hustling. She's making her mark left on the game.
There's another board from Montgomery taking it up now. Farrell, she just can't finish. Just too short with the layup. Wells gets it over now to Brabham. Brabham into Kia. Tipped away from Fan as he tries to get it to Hermanson.
Each one of these seniors has definitely left their mark on this game in their own unique way.
Absolutely. Alyssa Mulaski checked into the game for Kristen Fan, the senior. Wells gets it to Hermanson. Driving is Hermanson, now to Feaster. Feaster, the shot, just a little too long. They're going to let that go out of bounds. Back to the hands of Bryan College. This one's gotten a little bit out of hand, Drew, to say the least. It's a 70-34 ball game. Just over 4 minutes left in the third.
Yeah, I think that now you're the Lady Lions. You want to finish out the game. You want to continue to keep your level of play up and no injuries. That's all you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Montgomery, the long three ball, just short, no good. Long pass up the court to Feaster. Gets it to Wells. Wells driving. Wells goes up. She just can't finish. Rebound Mulaski. Majors with the basketball. Long three ball from Mulaski. She drills it. 39-point lead for the Lady Lions. Wells cross-court pass to Hermanson. Hermanson for three. She trades three balls. Up the court is Majors. Tries to get to the bucket, no good. Hard foul near the midway point from Majors.
Everybody looks to be okay. I mean, you don't want to encourage fouling, but that's probably a good one to take if you're going to take one.
Yeah, for sure. This is the second of two matchups between Bryan College and Columbia College. The first one at Columbia, South Carolina on November 5th. And that seems like a long time ago, Drew.
Yeah.
The Lady Lions won that one 76-53. Of course, they've almost scored that amount already here in the third period.
Yeah. The Lady Lions are a hard bunch to beat at Summers Gymnasium. This place, I mean, it may not look the nicest, but it certainly is a home court advantage.
Oh, absolutely.
For any team that plays here.
Major steps in, gets it to Russell. Russell jacks up the three, no good, in and out. Out of bounds on Farrell, back to Columbia. So this one and then their game against Milligan University at Milligan on February 18th. That's this weekend at 2 o'clock. Will wrap up the regular season for the Lady Lions. Of course, they want to go ahead and finish off this season with only one conference loss early to Reinhardt. That was a tough game, too. I think it was a 1-point victory for Reinhardt.
Yeah, that was a back-and-forth game. Two teams probably playing at such a high level, and, you know, all credit to Reinhardt. They pulled it out. And, I mean, we talked about it earlier. If the Koalas could have kept this thing in striking distance, that was probably the key. The Lions have struggled a little bit down the stretch, closing out games, but they seem to have taken care of business here.
Yeah, absolutely. The three ball there is up and good.
That was Macy Pittner. That's going to be her first points in a while.
Yeah, Macy Pittner back playing for the Lady Lions. Coming in to make a difference for them. That's someone you like to have off your bench, Drew.
For sure. She's a bona fide bucket getter, as they say. She you know, and I talked to Coach Gabe, and he really has a lot of faith in her. Thinks if she could maybe come around a little bit more on the defensive side of the ball, that she could be really good. And I happen to agree. I like a lot of what she does.
Well, she's a good point guard as well to have kind of in your back pocket, if you will. Of course, you have Caitlin Hennessy manning the offense, but she's definitely one you like to have as a good backup.
She gives a different look. I mean, Hennessy's a matchup nightmare, and you know, maybe there's some matchups you like more than others, and you bring her off. It's a great weapon to have for any coach.
I mentioned that early loss to Reinhardt University. The Lady Lions' one and only loss in conference. It was actually a 3-point game, 69-66. I remember doing that game here on the broadcast. It was a tough one, but the Lady Lions at that point in the season, I'll say that was their second game, I believe, of the season. They've really turned things around. They've won 13 in a row. Majors up the court, finishes at the bucket for two. They've won 13 in a row with an overall 23-3 record, and bearing an earthquake or tornado or some other miracle here, it looks like they'll go to 24-3 in about 10.5 minutes or so.
Yeah, they've done a great job. I mean, you get punched in the mouth early by Reinhardt. A little shakeup of the team happens, and I think they've done nothing but good things since then.
Well, and I think it speaks to leadership, Drew,
Yeah.
and not only from the ladies on the floor, but and we talked about him earlier from Coach Gabe Johnson. He stepped in kind of surprisingly, wasn't expecting necessarily to take the women's coaching job coming into this season, but he did, and he's done a tremendous job leading the Lions to another AAC regular season conference victory or conference championship rather, and they'll look this time to go to Kingsport and win it all.
Absolutely. I mean, that speaks to the level of professional that he is and his character. I mean, maybe not something that he envisioned himself doing this year, but he's certainly done a great job.
Ashton Estrada into the game. Beautiful post move there. She just can't finish.
And Ashton has been one of those that's come in and over the blowouts that we've had recently, and she's played well. She's gotten a number of buckets.
Tries to get it down low to Kent. They do. She gets her own rebound and finishes. 8 ticks left in the third period. Majors up the floor. Poked away, and the buzzer sounds. That's the end of the third period. And with that, we'll take a short break. We'll be back here in Summers Gymnasium for more basketball action. Stay tuned. We're back here in Dayton, Tennessee, home of Summers Gymnasium and your Bryan College Lady Lions. It's a 79-43 game with 1 period of action left. They're on pace to score over the century mark, Drew. Of course, that's always fun to watch here.
Of course, man. We've not seen them as often maybe as we did in the past, but I mean, they've come and they're always great to see, like you said.
Brookover shoots the 3 ball, misses short. Hennessy going the other way.
And
stops, gets it to Russell.
I will credit Columbia College. They've kept the game about even since halftime.
Yeah.
They've done. I mean, Bryan's playing some girls who don't normally get this much burn, but credit to them for staying in it and fighting the way they can.
Absolutely. Feaster looking to the corner to Jackson. Jackson driving, kicking out. Now Hermanson for 3. She drills one home.
That's going to be a pair of threes for her. She's been good for them. Maybe a lone bright spot here.
And they cut it down to 33 now with just under 9 minutes left. Kastner drives, tries to finish, can't. Farrell gets the rebound, draws the foul. So she'll go to the line for 2 to try to go past the 80 mark. As I mentioned before, the Lady Lions coming to this one 21-1 in conference. Looks like they'll improve to 22-1 after this one. And they have one more game to finish off the regular season, and that'll be at Milligan University, 2 o'clock on Saturday. This is Drew, probably my favorite time of the year right now is when basketball is in full swing, about to go into tournament time. and the beginning of baseball season.
Of course.
It just doesn't get much better than that, if you ask me.
And we just had the Super Bowl that just took place.
Yeah, that's like the kind of this culmination of all these sports.
Oh, yeah.
That's beautiful, and Russell finishes there on the rebound from the free throw.
Like you said, you get teams' best basketball to this point, and I know you love baseball season. I might not be an avid watcher, but I always enjoy any sport that's put in front of me.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. That seems to be the case for most guys that play any sports. Drew, is like, we don't care what it is. We'll compete at anything. I don't care if it's racing you up the steps. A 3-ball there from Destiny Kastner. The super senior, she decided to come back after her true blue senior year last year.
Yeah.
And she has proved to be of great benefit for the Lady Lions.
She's taken an expanded role this year, maybe one that not a lot of people saw coming, but she stepped right into it, filled those shoes perfectly.
Absolutely. Hennessy driving, throws it away out of bounds, trying to get it to Mulaski. But yeah, Russell, she's over 41% from three-point land. She's second in the AAC in scoring, averaging third in the AAC in scoring, averaging 16.4 points per game.
You mean Kastner?
Yeah, Kastner, that is. And that was Russell, that's over 40% from three-point land. But Kastner's not far off. I think she's just under 40.
No, she's come up with a ton of huge shots down the stretch in some of these more recent games, and it's been great to see.
It sure has, and I would say at the beginning of the year it was Samantha Russell doing all the damage, it seemed like, and Samantha's kind of tapered off just a little bit offensively, but Destiny Kastner and Caitlin Hennessy have been there to pick up any slack that Russell may have left them.
Probably to her benefit.
That's not much slack.
Yeah. Probably to her benefit. I mean, you don't want just one. To be a great team, you can't just have one dynamic player. I mean, having multiple options is great.
Absolutely. 2 for 2 at the line. It's Feaster. 84. The inverse of 84 is 48, and that's what the score is. 7:20 left in this ball game. Fan with the basketball, hands it to Montgomery. Now to Hennessy, near side wing, drives with the right hand, goes up with the right hand. The bucket and the foul.
That is one thing that Caitlin Hennessy excels at, is getting in the lane, creating the contact, and then going up.
For the old-fashioned three-pointer, Hennessy up and good, rattles home. Wells jogging the ball up the court for Columbia. There's another game here just after this one. In between will be presentation of senior night. We'll stay live for that. And Kate Simmons draws the charge. That is one of her coveted personal stats. I think I saw the other day on Facebook where she reposted something about how she had the all-time leading charges for Lenore City, and I was like, what a stat.
Yeah. I mean, that's one that not many people would seek out, and I think it's great to have a player like her that takes pride in the little things like that.
Absolutely. Hennessy driving. Gets the backdoor cut to Kastner, and fouled on the way up. Foul committed from Peyton Brookover, the sophomore forward from Fort Mill, South Carolina. Drew, as a coach for Columbia, what do you tell them after a game like this? It's really not been close the whole time.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the fact that the Lady Lions are the 1 seed, and you knew this game was going to be tough. It was it's, like you said earlier, a 20-plus point game on the road for the Lady Lions. I think after that you really just have to tell them to shake it off, and we've got other games to prepare for. I mean, like you mentioned, conference tournament time is coming up, and if you want to get to the top, you will certainly see this team again. Maybe you make mention of anything that happened during this game, and then you move on. You've got more to prepare for.
Absolutely. I believe they'll have another one that'll round off their regular season, and then they'll travel to Kingsport, Tennessee for the AAC tournament. 89-49, a solid 40-point game. 6:09 left in the contest. Feaster goes 2 for 2 at the line. Hennessy up the court now, crosses the equator. Gets it to Montgomery. Montgomery for 3. Good!
There it is.
Tickles the twine on the way down. 92-50, inching their way to the century mark.
And they ran that play just for her. She hasn't been in the score sheet yet, and she just got there, but her presence has been felt other ways in the game.
Absolutely. We talk about those kind of players all the time, as those who don't show up on the stat sheet, but they show up on the court.
Yep. And that's players like Faith and Marley, and I think they're showing tonight why they're on the team in the first place.
Absolutely. Faith Simmons commits the foul there on Kateria Brabham, the senior center from Bamberg, South Carolina. The first of 2 free throws is off. Brabham for the second. Good. Splits the free throws, cuts the lead. Now 92-51.
You know, you were mentioning, what do you say to a team after a game like this? I mean, I think to their credit, they've done a much better job in the second half. I mean, on the offensive end, they've knocked down some of the looks that maybe they didn't knock down in the first half. But I'd say the emphasis is probably going to be on fixing the defensive side for them.
Yeah, absolutely. This was on pace to be a 46 to 110-point game after the first half, and of course the Lady Lions might get there. But you're right, Columbia has come out in the second half, and they've still competed. Wells inbounding the basketball for Columbia. Of course, we talked about what you tell Columbia, but after a prolific win and a dominating win for the Lady Lions, what do you tell them after a game like this?
Act like you've been here before, because they definitely have. You know, this is one that was expected. You give the seniors that played their flowers, as we see one exit the game there, Marley Montgomery. And then, you know, like I said, you move on to the next one. You got to stay focused. We've talked a lot on this broadcast about getting to the top of the conference, not only in the regular season but in the tournament. And I think this is just another stepping stone to that.
Yeah, the Lady Lions, as you mentioned earlier, surprisingly fell in Kingsport, Tennessee, in the conference tournament. Thankfully, they'd already won the regular season championship, which secured them a spot in the opening round, as they have this year as well. They have secured their spot in the NAIA opening round. Now, what seed they are, that's still yet to be determined. And, of course, doing well in Kingsport will help their cause for sure. 40-point game, 92-52. Faith Simmons driving, goes up with the left hand, no good. Wells saves the basketball. Kia driving with the right hand, goes up, just can't finish. Fan gets the board. A little excitement here late into the game, both teams hustling. Had Fan with a backdoor cut, just doesn't hit her. Kastner with the 3 ball. Fan's right there to get it. Back-to-back passes. Fan with the 3 ball. My goodness. That's just fun to watch, folks.
That's awesome. Kristen Fan has had a really good game here today.
Absolutely, she has. 95-52 is the score.
Great defense there from Faith Simmons.
Looks like Caitlin Hennessy is going to be checked out of the game, and that'll probably be the last time she's checked out of the game. Maybe the last time at Summers Gymnasium. Of course, we don't know where those hosting grounds will be for the NAI opening round. Majors up the court. Fan thinks about it. Throws it away. Kiet going the other way. And finishes on the other end. You're right. Kristen Fan has had a heck of a game. 11 points, 4 for 6 from the field, 3 for 5 from three-point land. Kastner goes up. The super senior for 3, no good.
Great
rebound, Faith Simmons, and a lot of contact, and they're going to call the jump ball.
That's an interesting call.
Interesting to say the least,
Yeah.
Drew. That's you being nice.
Yeah.
She was bear hugs down there. Maybe she was getting a koala hug, rather, as Destiny Kastner is checked out of the game.
Either way, it's Lions ball. Great job getting the offensive rebound there.
They get it into Simmons. Simmons back to Majors. Simmons with it once again. Fan over to Farrell. Fan to Brooks. Farrell setting the screen. Brooks finds Fan. Just 5 on the shot clock now. Brooks driving. Goes up with the right hand and is fouled on the way up. I'm sure at this point in the game, it's. I wish they just let him play.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I get keeping the integrity of the game and the integrity of the call and all that, but at some point the next game's got to start. So.
Kristen Fan checks out of the game for the Lady Lions. The senior is appreciated here in Summers Gymnasium. 96 to 54 point game. You're right, Drew. Of course, as a referee, you always want to do a good job.
Yeah.
So I don't knock it. It's a 42 point basketball game. Just under 3 minutes left. 96 to 54. Your Lady Lions leading. Thank you for tuning into this presentation of Bryan College basketball. Grayson Whaley and Drew Rogers bringing you this presentation. Faith Simmons, another hard-fought rebound there.
She's going to get another bear hug.
She'll have a 1-and-1 opportunity on the other end of the floor. Simmons has 5 points already, 1 for 2 from the field. 1 for 1 from three-point land, 2 for 2 at the line as well. 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, or 0 assists, 2 fouls rather. Knocks down the first one. She'll now have 6 points on the game. Simmons goes 2 for 2 at the line, stays perfect, 4 for 4, and now on the game. And Faith Simmons is checked out of the game, the senior here in Dayton, Tennessee. Much appreciated, as you can tell from the crowd's response.
Now, like we talked about earlier, the Lions here really just looking for the century mark and looking for no injuries. That's the goal. Get out of here.
Gets away from Wells. She picks it back up. Goes up, the 10-foot floater, no good. Gets to Kiet. Kiet now, no good as well. Closing in on 2 minutes left. A timeout there by Coach Gabe Johnson. And they're just going to sub in Macy Pittner. I think they're just going to kind of roll this. They're not going to. They're not really even going to.
Substitution timeout.
Yeah, they're not going to really take the break. Of course, it's gotten pretty ugly here in Dayton, Tennessee. 98-54, just over 2 minutes left. Lions leading. This is a good opportunity for Macy Pittner, and also Ashton Estrada checked into the game to get them some playing time before they round out this regular season. Majors with it. Now to Brooks. Brooks hands it off to Pittner. Pittner to Farrell. Farrell the spin move. Back out to Pittner. Pittner for 3. Good.
That'll be it.
That's what she does, Drew.
Yeah, like we talked about, she's an offensive force, that's for sure.
Nice pass there to Kiet. She finishes at the bucket. And, of course, with that made three-pointer, the Lady Lions pass the century mark and now have 3 digits on the scoreboard, 101 to 56. A minute 22 left in the game. Running down the shot clock before they take a shot. Majors in the corner. Good pass to Estrada. Estrada can't finish. Gets her own rebound. Looking for anything. And they're going to call 3-second violation on Ashton Estrada.
She's shown some great post footwork here tonight. Maybe not converted it into a lot of buckets, but we've definitely seen her get shifty in the post.
For sure. Just under a minute left in this game. Wells still firing shots up, no good. Pittner with the basketball. Gets it down to Estrada. Estrada working through contact, draws the foul. Stay tuned for just after the game. We'll break down the score. We'll break down this matchup before we move into senior night. Stay tuned for that as well. Estrada in and out on the free throw. Goes 0 for 2 at the line, and Kia gets the rebound. Kia throws up a circus shot. I thought she was going to make it there for a second. A 5-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Pittner throws up the 3 ball, no good. The shot clock is gone. 23 seconds remain in this game.
Good pass.
Feaster for 3, no good. Farrell gets the rebound, and they get it to Pittner, and that will pretty much be the ball game. They're going to probably cross the equator and call it quits from there. Well, as the buzzer sounds, the Lady Lions win this one 101-56. They impress in Dayton, Tennessee on senior night. What a game. Let's go ahead and break this down. Drew Kastner, Hennessy, Russell lead the way. Of course, Kristen Fan with 11 points, Faith Simmons with 7, Marley Montgomery with 3, Katie Farrell with 2, and Ashton Estrada with none. For Columbia International, Abria Key at 14, Carnasia Wells for 13. And we'll pause just 1 second and close things out after the prayer. We're back, Drew. Of course, 101-56 score. What made the difference here tonight, Drew?
I mean, Lady Lions are a more complete team. They showed up, they did what they were supposed to, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, it definitely is. And that'll pretty much round things off for this first game. We have another one against Trip McConnell for the men. But we're going to go to senior night. We're going to pause here, and we're going to go to PA. And so just stay tuned for that. We'll be back in just one moment.
Yeah. Making that money. I sound like a joke after Grayson. Grayson's so good, I sound terrible. Yeah. No, they don't want me on that. If they think you're bad. I know. They get what they listen. They got what they got now. Hey. They keep coming back. Oh no, they want, I would love to do play-by-play. They don't want to put me and him on the mic. I said the biggest thing I need to know is where's the mute button. Every time there's a hot mic around, I need to know where the mute button is. Yeah. This is not my school. Which one? If I could have your attention, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to honor our 12 seniors who have made a tremendous impact on Bryan Athletics. Our first senior we would like to recognize is Ellie Bigham. Ellie is being escorted by her mother, Christy Bigham, and her grandmother, Becky Osborne. She has represented Bryan Cheer for the past 4 years. Ellie has made the Dean's List 4 semesters and plans on graduating with a criminal justice degree with a plan to pursue a career in forensic interviewing and working with children in the criminal justice system. With gratitude, Ellie would like to say, I would like to thank my mother, my grandparents, and my family for always supporting me and making it possible to do what I love. I want to thank all of the coaches I've had over the years who have made an impact on me as a person and the cheerleader I am today. And a special thanks for Coach Janice Perrin for showing me how to live a life for pride and for being like a second mother to me. And I finally want to thank my team for helping me make this last year memorable. Ellie Bigham. Our next senior is Miranda Gross. Miranda is being escorted by her husband Jacob Gross, her parents Stacy and Marcia Cook, and her siblings Hannah and Blake. She has represented Bryan for 2 years on the JV volleyball team and 3 years on the cheer team. Her plans are to graduate with a bachelor's in secondary education, biology focus, and teach middle school in the McMinn County area. During her time as a cheerleader, she was a part of the squad who won the CCA Grand National Championship in 2021. With thankfulness, Miranda would like to say, I would like to thank my family for supporting me in every decision I've made, my coaches over the years who got me here, Ellie, Cameron, Kyra, and Aaron for convincing me to cheer again, and Janice Perrin for taking a chance on me my sophomore year. Our senior, Miranda Gross. Our third senior we would like to recognize is Alex Schaefer. Alex is being escorted by her mom, Karen Moore, and her father, Scott Schaefer. She has faithfully represented and served on the JV women's basketball team as the varsity manager for 4 years. Her plans are to graduate with a bachelor's in exercise health science, free therapy, and later obtain a master's in occupational therapy following graduation. Alice would like to thank her family as well as coaches and teammates who have poured into her during her time at Bryan. Our senior, Alice Schaefer. Our next senior her time at Bryan. Our senior, Caitlin Hennessy. Our fifth senior is Marley Montgomery. Marley is being escorted by her parents Brad and Chris Montgomery, as well as her siblings Brady and Mason. She has represented Bryan for 3 years in the women's basketball program. Her plan is to graduate with a bachelor's in biology and start her master's in healthcare administration beginning in May. Marley would like to thank her family and friends for supporting her and her coaches for giving her the opportunity to play college basketball. Our senior, Marley Montgomery. Our next senior is Kristen Fan. Kristen is being escorted by her mother Melanie Fan, her brother Justin Fan, and her niece Charlotte Fan. She has been representing the Bryan College women's basketball team for 3 years and has been on the academic honor roll during her time here at Bryan. Kristen is graduating with a major in biopsychology with future plans to get a master's in human